Welcome to our channel Storm Rider. The Lada Niva has always held a special place in the world of off-road vehicles. It's one of those rugged, go-anywhere machines that's earned a loyal following not because of its luxury or speed, but because of its unbreakable simplicity and dependability. Now, in 2025, the Niva has evolved, but not so much that it loses its identity. The 2025 Lada Niva 4x4 is a reimagining of the classic Soviet-era off-roader, retaining the original spirit while bringing it up to date with modern features and safety improvements. At first glance, the 2025 Niva 4x4 has a familiar silhouette, boxy, upright, and confident. The proportions are classic, but the styling has been updated just enough to feel current. The new front fascia features a revised grille with LED headlights that offer much better nighttime visibility compared to the halogen units of the past. The bumpers have been reshaped for a more aggressive stance, and subtle plastic cladding on the fenders gives it that adventurous edge. It still looks utilitarian, but now with a hint of sophistication. There's even an optional roof rack and skid plates, clearly aimed at people who actually intend to take this thing off-road. Under the hood, the 2025 Lada Niva features a 1.8-liter naturally aspirated inline-4 engine. It produces around 122 horsepower and 170 Nm of torque. Now, those numbers aren't going to win any drag races, but they're perfectly adequate for the kind of driving the Niva is designed for. The focus here is low-end torque and durability. What makes it shine is the full-time four-wheel drive system, complete with locking center and rear differentials. It's built on a rugged ladder frame chassis, a nod to traditional off-road engineering, paired with independent front suspension and a solid rear axle. That's the kind of setup you want when climbing rocky trails or forging through snow and mud. The transmission is a 5-speed manual by default, with an optional 6-speed manual or 4-speed automatic depending on the trim level and market. The gear ratios are tuned for off-road crawling, not highway cruising, which means you'll hear the engine working a bit harder at higher speeds, but the trade-off is excellent control in low-traction environments. Ground clearance is improved to about 240 mm, and approach and departure angles are competitive. This is a serious off-roader, not a crossover in disguise. Inside, the Niva has taken a welcome step forward. It's still fairly basic compared to modern SUVs, but there's a new dashboard layout with improved ergonomics and higher quality plastics. The 2025 model introduces a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, not something we ever expected to see in a Niva. There's also Bluetooth connectivity, USB ports, and even a rear-view camera, which is a huge help given the upright shape and limited rear visibility. The seating has been upgraded with better cushioning and more adjustability, though it's still more functional than plush. There's enough room for 5 passengers, but taller adults may find the rear seats a bit tight for long trips. Cargo space is decent, and with the rear seats folded down, you get a flat loading floor that's ideal for gear, groceries, or camping equipment. It's the kind of car you can take into the wilderness on Friday and still use for hardware store runs on Monday. When it comes to safety, the 2025 Niva finally joins the 21st century. Previous generations lacked airbags or electronic assists, but the new model features dual front airbags, ABS, electronic stability control, and even hill descent assist on certain trims. It's not loaded with high-end driver aids like adaptive cruise or lane keep assist, but the basics are covered, and that's a huge leap for the Niva. Now let's talk about how it drives. On pavement, the Niva is more refined than it used to be, but it's still very much an old-school 4x4. The steering is heavy and a bit vague, the suspension is soft and bouncy over uneven roads, and road noise is noticeable, especially at highway speeds. But here's the thing, if you're buying a Niva expecting it to drive like a modern crossover, you're missing the point. This is a vehicle designed to go places most cars can't. It excels where others stop: mud, snow, gravel, steep inclines, you name it. The solid underpinnings, short overhangs, and mechanical simplicity all come together to create something that's nearly unstoppable off-road. One of the most unique selling points of the Niva is its mechanical honesty. There's no pretense here. No flashy screens, no adaptive suspension, no complex electronics that could fail in remote environments. What you get instead is reliability. It's a tool, not a toy. And that makes it appealing not just to off-road enthusiasts, but to people who need a tough, dependable vehicle for work or travel in harsh conditions. The price is another major advantage. The 2025 Lada Niva remains one of the most affordable true 4x4s on the market. Depending on the market, base models can start as low as the equivalent of $15,000 USD, making it incredibly attractive for budget-conscious buyers who still want a vehicle capable of serious off-roading. Compared to modern alternatives like the Suzuki Jimny or even the Jeep Renegade, the Niva undercuts them significantly in cost while matching or exceeding them in pure off-road ability. That said, it's not perfect. The fuel economy is nothing to write home about, averaging around 10 liters per 100 kilometers, roughly 23 mpg, and the noise insulation is minimal. Don't expect it to be quiet or smooth. Also, availability can be an issue in some markets, especially where Lada doesn't have an official presence. But for those who get it, for those who value ruggedness over refinement, the 2025 Niva is something special. It's not pretending to be an urban SUV. It's not trying to impress you with luxury. It's here to do a job, and it does that job exceptionally well. Whether you're crossing frozen tundra, navigating dense forests, or just want something with old-school charm and real capability, the new Niva continues to earn its reputation as a small but mighty legend. In the end, the 2025 Lada Niva 4x4 isn't for everyone, but for the right person, it's everything they need and nothing they don't. It's raw, honest, and capable, a reminder that in a world full of high-tech, high-priced vehicles, there's still room for a tough little truck that just gets the job done.